Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in your life when you have to face a brutal truth. The version of yourself that you're carrying every single day, the one that sleeps in, that breaks promises to themselves, that waits for motivation to strike, is the very thing standing between you and the life you say you want. That version needs to die. You need to kill it without apology, without a funeral. Just eliminate it. The weak version of you is built on excuses, fear, and comfort. Kill it before it kills your potential. This version of yourself doesn't need a reason to quit, it creates one. It's the part of you that seeks validation instead of growth, that chooses comfort over courage, that would rather protect ego than face rejection. It wakes up and immediately negotiates with the alarm clock, snoozing goals, dreams, and standards. It finds every reason to delay the start, to pause the momentum, to explain why now isn't the time. It is a master storyteller, crafting narratives around why you're not ready, why the timing is wrong, why someone else is responsible. This version of you survives on laziness masked as patience and fear disguised as caution. It pretends to care about outcomes but makes no investment into the process. It is addicted to safety, allergic to discipline, and hostile to accountability. It's the voice that tells you to sit back when life demands you stand up. It makes you scroll instead of study, compare instead of create, blame instead of build. It sounds like a friend but behaves like an enemy. It whispers in your mind you've done enough when you know you haven't. It convinces you to protect your feelings at the cost of your future. It clings to the past because it's too afraid to face the discomfort of change. It worships opinions, avoids decisions, and fears action. It can't handle rejection, so it never even tries. It plays not to lose instead of playing to win. It overthinks, under-executes, and celebrates survival while killing success. It sabotages relationships, finances, fitness, and mental clarity because it refuses to evolve. It pretends to be humble but is deeply insecure. It hates risk, so it builds routines out of regret. It tells you you're not ready when the truth is, it's not ready to let go of who you used to be. That weak version of you is always looking for comfort, validation, and someone else to blame. It thrives in drama, lives for approval, and dies in the presence of responsibility. It's the reason you don't keep promises to yourself. It's the version that watches someone else win and says, they got lucky, instead of, I need to work. It waits for motivation, prays for shortcuts, and dreams without execution. And here's what's dangerous. The longer you let this version live, the more it becomes your identity. You begin to believe its lies. You begin to see the world through its lens. You begin to lower your standards because you think this is who you are, but it's not. It's who you settled into. It's the camouflage of someone hiding from greatness. It's the shadow of who you could become. And if you don't kill it, it will kill your potential. It will kill your self-respect. It will kill your relationships. It will kill your momentum, your energy, your ambition, and your belief in yourself. It's not just weak, it's dangerous. Growth demands pain, accountability, and isolation. Only the strong can withstand that process. The truth is, transformation is not found in the spotlight or the applause. It's built in the moments where no one is watching. When the alarm goes off and you rise while the world sleeps, when you choose discipline over emotion, structure over chaos, and purpose over pleasure. Real growth doesn't feel good in the moment. It feels like pain, rejection, discomfort, and loneliness. It doesn't stroke your ego, it breaks it. It doesn't ask you how you feel, it demands that you move forward regardless. The reason most people never truly evolve is because they refuse to embrace what growth actually costs. They want results without sacrifice, recognition without repetition, confidence without doing hard things. Growth means telling the truth about your weaknesses. It means owning your mistakes instead of blaming others. It means showing up even when it's inconvenient, unglamorous, or exhausting. It forces you to leave behind people who no longer align with your future. And that often means long stretches of isolation where you walk alone, where no one claps for you, where no one understands your grind. You feel misunderstood. And that's because you are stepping into a frequency most will never choose to operate at. When you level up, you become a mirror to others who are still making excuses, and not everyone wants to be reminded of their own avoidance. That's why growth isolates you. It forces you to rely on yourself, to self-motivate, to become your own source of discipline, clarity, and power. It trains your mind to stop seeking approval and instead focus on results. Accountability becomes your oxygen. You stop lying to yourself, stop sugarcoating, and start confronting your reality with ruthless honesty. You track your habits, you measure your progress, you take ownership of every decision. You don't play victim, you don't run from feedback, and you don't wait for permission. Pain becomes the doorway and you walk through it because you understand that what feels hard now will eventually become your strength. Every rep, every early morning, every failure, every moment of doubt is teaching you how to build something unshakable. The struggle is the tuition you pay to develop self-respect. And no one can fake that. It shows in how you walk, how you speak, how you lead. You don't have to announce it. Real growth is felt without saying a word. You become someone who can't be manipulated, distracted, or broken easily. You become resilient because you've been tested. You become focused because you've learned how to sit in silence. You become powerful because you've died to your weakness and built yourself with intentionality. You start to crave challenges because you know that nothing valuable is earned without going through the fire. Growth becomes your identity, not your goal. And the more you embrace it, the more distance you create between who you were and who you are becoming. That distance is where confidence is born, where mastery is forged, where the average version of you can no longer survive. Every decision you make either feeds your weakness or fuels your strength. Choose your future in every moment. Life doesn't change in a day, but it does shift with the decisions you repeat every day. The small choices, the quiet moments, the thoughts you entertain, the habits you reinforce, the boundaries you set or ignore. These are the bricks of your future. Whether you rise or fall depends on how you treat these moments. When you hit snooze, you feed weakness. When you get up and train, you feed strength. When you procrastinate, you fuel regret. When you act despite fear, you build courage. Every micro action is a vote for the version of you that will either dominate or disappear. The world will offer you distractions, shortcuts, temptations, and excuses, but none of that will matter if you've decided who you want to become. Weakness grows in confusion. Strength thrives in clarity. The more intentional you are with your time, your energy, your thoughts, the less room weakness has to survive. Strength is not built in huge dramatic moments. It's developed in the day-to-day battle between who you are and who you could be. And in that battle, every time you choose discomfort, you move closer to greatness. But when you settle, when you avoid, when you let fear drive the wheel, you're letting the weaker version of yourself win. People think success is about talent, resources, or opportunity. It's not. It's about decisions. It's about who you decide to be when no one's watching. It's about whether you choose discipline over impulse, whether you choose to build when you feel like quitting, whether you face the mirror and tell the truth instead of hiding behind stories. You can't complain about your outcomes if you're feeding weakness in your action. You can't expect confidence if you constantly betray yourself. You can't expect strength if you keep making choices that protect your comfort zone. You must decide every day in every moment to be a builder of strength. That means turning off distractions and turning up your focus. That means eliminating options that don't align with your purpose. That means treating your future like something sacred, not something optional. You have to become obsessed with making the right decisions over and over again until they become part of who you are. And it doesn't mean you won't slip, but it does mean you won't stay down. Because when you are committed to growth, to mastery, to becoming someone elite, you don't negotiate with weakness. You don't let emotions run your life. You rise above them. You keep going when it's boring, when it's hard, when it's uncertain, because you've decided to live from strength. The future you want isn't random. It's built by design. And that design is etched into your choices. Every workout, every deep breath, every minute of focus, every hard conversation, every time you hold the line, it's all shaping the future version of you who doesn't break, who doesn't settle, who leads with power and lives with purpose.